big game tonight. Huge game. Dolphins could end up fourth in the AFC East. 2025 season kaput with a loss tonight. If we win, the season goes on life support, but I don't see long-term real success. We win tonight, it could start drifting to the middle of the pack again. But either way, from what I'm hearing across the media and from fans, is we got to get off Tua. And I'm not going to debate that. I'm tired of arguing over him. But what I want to say clearly, that even if we keep Tua, but more expediently if we get rid of him, we are back to 2019. And in 2022, people are saying F them picks and smiling. Let's go all in. There's no real cap issues going forward. And there were people like me and others who were saying, okay, let's go all in. But if you shoot your shot and you miss, you got to expect there's going to be a price, and there will be a cap hit. And slowly but surely, that came to be the truth. So what it really says, and I'm going to show you the numbers, that moving off Tua, while it might be the right move, maybe not. I'm tending towards yeah, because I'm tired of arguing about it. You've got to be clear on what's going to be laid out after this and understand it's going to be a longer track. It's not going to be, even if you get an Allen or whatever, while, it will mean we have a long-term good quarterback, it's going to take a lot of suffering to get him in the right spot with the right team. Guys, you want to complain about Tua's holding us down. That's not true. On the field, you could say, yeah, but a real team, San Fran, how many first-round picks for Lance? We got most of them did Bupkis, and they're doing good. You could see Tampa, they didn't even draft a guy. They got a guy, and now he's doing great. Colts missed on Richardson, and they're doing great. The team is the key. And whether we get the right quarterback or not, or Tua is the right quarterback, whatever, the team itself will take time. And I want to show you a bunch of facts so we can, even if you're hot and heavy to get off of him, you have to understand getting off Greer. Greer has put us in this tank. Getting the right GM, Tua or not, is what we need. But even if we get the right GM, there will be a long haul. Maybe 28, 27 if something superstar happens. So that's what I want to get into today, just to keep real about things, because it's very exciting to get off something you don't want to be involved in. But then you have to be clear, and it's pretty darn clear. Now, the first point is, whether you like Tua or you don't like Tua, you want a better quarterback than Tua. You'd always want a better quarterback. But if you look at the history, not our history, just general history, from 2003 to 2023, 61 quarterbacks were taken. Of those 61 quarterbacks, 39 flopped. That's 63.9%. So if you flip it the other way, that's 46.1% chance of you actually getting 36.1% chance that you're going to get the right quarterback, 1 out of 3. And so the people who think quarterbacks will drive the team, statistically, we only got a 36.1 chance of getting it right. Now, if we get the right GM, we'll get the right quarterback more likely than not. We get the wrong GM or keep Greer. So we have to understand that. I mean, Jamarcus Russell, Tim Couch, David Carr, Josh Rosen, first round. We paid a second for him, and he had a couple plays, and he was gone. Trey Lance. These are big, and even Ed Richardson, big-time quarterbacks that flopped. So we got to be clear on that. But from a cap standpoint, people talk about Tua's holding us back. Well, maybe on the field he is. But from a cap standpoint, look at here at this graphic, 2026, next year. Right now we got 1.8 to 3 point something, depending on Sporic or over the cap. But we're negative 14 next year. And then in 27, we're only 80 million and 36 players in 26 and only 29 players in 27. Cap screwed. But let's take a look at this graphic. Dead money. 2025. Look at all those players that we thought were the answer and weren't. And we got $56.5 million in dead cap. That's more than what Tua makes. And it's probably way more when you figure out how his salary is structured for the season. 56. It's 25%, over 25% of the current cap. That is a way bigger quotient to our financial situation than Tua would be. Again, look what they got rid of Wilson with Denver, and they didn't miss a beat. Look at 26, $33.6 million in dead cap. Now, I'm going to show you, you're going to have to move off Hill. He might get investigated and punished by the league. I don't think you'll be able to trade him. And if you do, you probably won't get bub-kissed, but you're going to have to get off of him. Chubb, you got to get off of. You want to get off Jackson, but I don't think you can from a financial standpoint. And you want to get off Tua. That dead cap is going to go up, and it's going to carry to 2027. It's a lot of money. It will free up salary, but there'll be so much in dead cap, it's going to level that out. I won't get into the specific numbers because it's when do they do a pre-June, post-June? Do they trade them? Whatever. And then there's always the cap rising and stuff. But we will be cap restricted, certainly in 26, and to a lesser but sizable standpoint in 27. That's just reality. So, people like, just cut Tua, get rid of Tua. Okay. But understand that in 2026, if you get off Tua, it's a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying stay with the guy. I'm not saying get rid of the guy. I'm just trying to show you that if you get off of him, it's a ton of cash. And you can look at this graphic, and it's 2026, 2027, pre-June, post-June. It's cheaper post-June. But when you do a post-June, you don't have money for free agency. And if you want to do a pre-June, it's 99 million dead minus 42 million in 26. It's going to have to be post-June if it is in 26. And that's $67.4 million post-June in dead money and negative 11 saved. Now, 27, it gets more doable. Pre-June, it's 31.8 dead, 21 in savings. And then if you do a post-June, it's 13.4 dead, 40 million saved. Post-June 2027, when you're going to make your most money. Now, I'm not saying do that. You might want to rip the Band-Aid off and do it in 26, but you certainly got to do it post-June. Can't do a pre-June, so you're not going to have money to get free agents next year. You're going to have to let some of these guys go, which will be, Hill, you're going to let go, Chubb, and that will free up some money, but it's not going to put you in position. And if they're looking to restart, that means some of these pieces they got now are not going to fit, and they might trade them, they might cut them. So really, 2026 is a strip them down bear. Get your quarterback with your top pick. Move off to it to get the pain out of the way, most likely post-June, and start operating, hopefully with the right GM and right coach. If you want to believe it's Greer and McDaniel, okay, whatever. I don't think so, but whatever. You're going to have to reset the whole foundation of this team. You go look through our team. Who do we got? Achane, Ollie, Paul. It's going to have to be Jonah, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not too big on Brewer because if you're going to get a new coach, unless we run with McDaniel, you're going to want to have a balanced run attack, and he's not good at inside zone. It's going to be Waddle. On defense, I guess it will be Sealer. He's pretty cheap, although he's going to be very old by the time we're ready to compete. It's going to be Grant, Chop. You're going to lose Phillips. You're going to want to get rid of Chubb. Jordan Phillips, a D tackle. Brooks is going to want to get paid soon. He's not going to be playing for $5 million after the season if he has a good season. Dotson, you probably want to get off. Minka, that's probably a piece you want to trade. Cornerbacks, I don't know. Is there any cornerbacks? Maybe Marshall, but he's playing pretty poor, but you got to give him a couple of years. And so this team is going to be just barren. So 26 will be a 2019 season, which is not a terrible thing if you build it right. If you get the right quarterback, whether it's Tua or it's the guy in the draft. But understand, it will be 2019 bare. Maybe not as bad as 2019, but pretty close. Maybe not as bad, but pretty close. And then 27 is going to be a kind of start building it up sort of year. We're going to have plenty of picks next year. We got to draft them right. You don't hit on all of them, as you know, we know. And then really it's going to be 2028 where this team, if it's built right and you got the right quarterback, you got the right, most importantly, GM, because the GM comes in, he'll say Tua is the right guy or not. You might agree, you might disagree. But if he's the right GM, he's going to know. He's going to know if McDaniel's the right guy or not. You might agree or disagree. The right GM controls everything. They're going to make the good picks most of the time. They're going to not overtrade. They're going to do things that are low-key that turn out to be high-key. And then by 28, the quarterback you draft in 26, or Tua, if that's who you want, should be primed with a team. But you've got to understand it will be a 3-year process. Again, I have no problem with that. I would love a clean slate. Not because I think Tua can't play. Tired of the arguments. The injury thing does bother me. But I'm certainly done with Greer. I'm certainly done with McDaniel and his conferences and the issues with play calls getting in late and not having discipline. I would love a clean slate. I would feel like breath of life again. But will we get the right GM? Will Greer get promoted and be part of the Garfinkel and Ross and the money guy interfering with the GM? Or will we get the right coach who, big time cred coach they're not going to screw around with, and he'll get the right GM? Or we get the right GM who's not going to be screwed around by Greer at the top and Ross and his cronies and say, oh, I'm in control of football situation, and then get the right coach and the rest of the stuff. That's the hope. And if that happens, I don't care. I'll wait to 2020. I don't know if I'll live to 2028, but I'll wait if I'm here on this planet Earth, because that's the only way. Got to get the right GM who's not being interfered, set the table for everything, and that's your chance for success. But it will take time. There will be no quick turnaround. And so just be aware of that. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. You can't take bad stuff and keep running it and expect it to have good results. You can't take average stuff and keep running it and expect to get good results. You take good stuff and you keep running it, and then eventually you get good or great results. And that's what it's about. So as you watch the game tonight, and whatever we're rooting for, whatever we're happy about, understand what's coming. 2019. And just pray more than Tua, more than McDaniel, that we get the right GM who won't be screwed with and sets everything up. So 27, maybe late 27, we can spark. And 28, we can really start taking off. So that's the deal. Curtis saying, be well. Go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.